Alright, today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the Congo Basin. It's one of the last truly wild places on Earth, and we're going on the hunt for creatures that, well, science tells us just shouldn't be there. Echoes from a prehistoric past. Let's get right into it. So let's just start with the big one, right? Could dinosaurs actually still be alive? I mean, it's a wild thought. We're all taught they vanished 66 million years ago. But what if they didn't? What if some of them are still hiding out in some forgotten corner of the world? And for a lot of people, that forgotten corner is the Congo Basin. You've got to understand, we're talking about this massive, dense, steamy jungle full of rivers and swamps. A huge portion of it is still totally unmapped. I mean, if you were going to write a story about a real-life lost world, this is exactly where you'd set it. It's this sheer inaccessibility that really fuels all the speculation. You know, if any prehistoric animals were going to survive somewhere, this seems like one of the only places on the planet where it's even remotely plausible. Okay, so let's start our investigation with the most famous creature of them all. This is the one that's been pulling explorers and adventurers into the jungle for more than 100 years. The stories come from the people who have lived in these forests forever, like the Baka peoples, and they talk about this animal that they know, that they respect, and frankly that they fear. They have a name for it, Mokele-mbembe. And just think about that name for a second. One who stops the flow of rivers. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the kind of power and size people are talking about here. We're imagining something so big it could literally just block a river with its body. A truly massive presence. Now, what's really fascinating here is how consistent all the descriptions are. Look at this breakdown. People from different villages, different times, they all describe something similar. It's about as big as a small elephant, it's got that super long, thin neck and a small head. They say it lives in the water, eats plants. It paints a picture that is, unmistakably like a small sauropod dinosaur. But hold on, because the stories don't just stop with a gentle plant-eating dinosaur look-alike. Oh no, there are reports of another creature, something way more dangerous, lurking in those same swamps. Yeah, this one is not the gentle giant of the stories. Its reputation is all about raw aggression and power. So while Mokele-mbembe might be shy and try to avoid people, this other cryptid is known for having a seriously bad temper. It's called Emela-ntouka, and its name translates to killer of elephants. Just let that sink in. What kind of animal earns a nickname like that? The reports say it's as big as a large elephant, but thicker, with this huge single horn on its nose, a horn powerful enough to gore elephants and buffalo that get in its way. Okay, so we've got these really compelling stories, right? But what does science have to say about it all? This is where we get into some really interesting and, pretty speculative theories. So let's look at Mokele-mbembe again. The comparison is it's right there. You put the local reports on one side and what we know about sauropods on the other, and they match up almost perfectly. Long neck, lives in water, eats plants. It's a textbook description. And that's exactly why this living dinosaur idea just won't go away. And what about our killer of elephants? The best guess here doesn't point to a dinosaur, but maybe another kind of prehistoric survivor. When you hear massive, single-horned, super-aggressive plant eater, it sounds a heck of a lot like some of the extinct Ice Age megafauna, like the elasmotherium, basically a giant rhino. So could Emela-ntouka be a real relic, or maybe just a powerful cultural memory of a creature like that? But this is the big problem, right? This is the huge hurdle that all these theories have to clear. For any of this to be possible, you don't just need one or two of these animals. You need a whole breeding population, a group big enough to last for millions of years without leaving a single fossil, a single bone, or any real hard evidence behind. Biologically, that's a massive challenge. So that leads us to what is probably the most likely scientific explanation, and it has less to do with biology and a lot more to do with psychology. What if these creatures aren't really unknown at all? Okay, so picture it. You're out on the river, the sun's going down, it's getting foggy, you see something big in the water from a distance. Maybe it's an elephant taking a bath, holding its trunk up high, which could kind of look like a long neck and a small head. Or maybe it's just a weird-looking log that the water is distorted. In those bad viewing conditions, your brain, which has heard all the local legends its whole life, just fills in the gaps. that elephant trunk suddenly becomes Mokele-mbembe's neck. So, where does that leave us? Honestly, we're kind of caught in the middle. We have these powerful, consistent legends on one side, and a total lack of any hard, scientific proof on the other. The mystery is still very much alive. And this is really where we stand. Science, and rightfully so, needs evidence that just isn't there. But at the same time, you can't just write off these stories. They are so important to the culture of the Congo. So whether Mokele-mbembe is a real animal or a powerful myth, it's very, very real to the people who share that forest. The Congo Basin, it seems, holds its secrets very tightly. And that really leaves us with one last big question. The whole story of Mokele-mbembe is a powerful reminder that our map of the world might not be as complete as we think it is. It makes you wonder, in an age where it feels like everything's been found, what other incredible secrets are still out there, waiting in the shadows? Like and subscribe to learn more about mysteries of the past. Share now.